Hey guys, video number 2. This is Dave coming to you from the paddock here in Southern Maryland. I just did a video, I just uploaded it on the books that changed me. And somebody tossed me a softball the other day. Said, Dave, can you talk about expectations and setting and managing expectations? And yeah, that's just one of my favorites. So I wanted to do a video just on setting expectations. And so the subtitle for this would be something like, do you have wants and hopes, or do you have dreams and plans? And they are very, very different, and they are all based on expectation management and realism of our expectations. There's my famous gap, right? There are gaps between your hopes and wants and the life you're leading? Are there gaps between your dreams and the life you're leading? Are there gaps between the trajectory to get to your dreams versus the one you're living? And all this has to do with expectations, setting them, and then managing them as far as how realistic are they given your life, and then are you planning your way to the expectations. So expectation setting and expectation management is the key, in my opinion, to satisfaction and therefore probably happiness. And there's expectations in your job, in your side business, in creating your own company. There are expectations that you got to set with your marriage, with your kids, um, with your wealth, with your retirement, right? And so again, I just want to say, to me, there's a lot of people walking out with wants and hopes, and and waiting for those hopes to get fulfilled somehow. And I think the one percenters, the people that are happiest, and it's not just money, right? I mean, you can use this for anything you want. It's any subject you wish to apply it to. I just use wealth a lot because wealth opens up a lot of opportunities. You know, my life is better because of the wealth. I get to do things that I want to do. I get to help people the way I want to help them because of the wealth. So lots of times I talk about that because I believe wealth can be misapplied too. We see that all the time. But in my life, that's never been a problem. I apply my wealth in hopefully as helpful a way as I can across. You see what I do on YouTube, and I do the same with my family. I do my same with other people that I do. So to me, I wouldn't be able to do the Wyoming thing without wealth. I wouldn't be able to do the paddock without wealth. I wouldn't be able to do that crazy cellar back there that you guys have seen so many times, because of the wealth. I couldn't give like I do because without the wealth. So that's why it comes up a lot. So let's talk about expectations. So the first example I want to talk about is expectation is at work. So as CEO, I had expectations of my staff, and so to do that, I wrote expectations into job descriptions, and I still get requests for my job descriptions. People are like, "Holy shit, man! I've never seen anything like that. Can you send me it? I want to use them." So lots of times my job descriptions get used as templates. When I created a job, I created what I expected from that job, and not just in a paragraph. There's a summary paragraph, but then there's criteria to be, here's what it's going to take to be successful in this particular position. And lots of people can do that, right? Lots of people talk about, I have expectations either as a boss or as an employee, and then so you write those down. You say, look, this is what I expect. But the other thing, that the next step is to write down measurements, like how these should be light switch measurements. We made it or we didn't, right? um, Again, you can use this for anything in your life, but for me, it started with writing job descriptions for people who are going to come work for me, and it's kind of worked throughout my life. For each thing you expect, and let's say you expect something from another person, what are you expecting from them? And then how do you know if that was met or not? All right. So, and for me, they had to be light switch. They could be easily, yeah, you met that criteria. They should be able to know if they're meeting their expectations or not. Now, you don't want to get so formal, like when you want to talk about what does it mean to have a successful marriage. Your wife's not going to want you to hand her a list of expectations with measurement criteria, right? So, but you need to know what they are in here for you and for your kids too. I have 2 adult children now. Lauren is now about to turn 22, and Shauna is 23, turning 24. I have things that I want from those relationships, and they have to change from a 5-year-old to a 10-year-old to a post 20-year-old. They have to be much different. And so for my kids, for me, I don't hand them a list, but I have expectations that I maintain for me for this relationship. I want to have a good adult conversation with my kids. I want to be able to talk about real things with them. I want to be able to have fun with them. I want connection points with them. And so those are expectations I set. I don't really place them on them. I place them on how I behave with them. With my wife, I expect to have a loving relationship. It's different than when we were 25. Now that we're 60, it's different. And one of the greatest things I heard was love is a verb, not a noun. Love is action. And so I've set expectations for myself to demonstrate to my wife that I care for her. You guys have heard me talk about some of them. I clean the house every morning. So when she comes downstairs, when she likes to sleep in, so I got like a 2 or 3 hour window every morning. But when she comes downstairs, the coffee's ready, the house is spotless, the dogs are good, the place has been vacuumed, there's no dog hair. I got 5 dogs in my house right now. 4 of them are my fault. So I had to set the expectation of, I'm going to keep Sasha, but that's going to change my life. We're going to order Finn and have him delivered, but that's going to change my life. I'm willing to bring Ranger home, but that's going to change my life. So I had to set expectations for myself. I want to have a great holiday month. I want the month of December to be great. That means I got to do things to make the wife happy. That means I got to do things for my kids. But I had to set expectations for the month. And one of them was I had to bring Ranger over from Denver so my son could be here. He was here 8 days for Thanksgiving. He's going to be here at least 2 weeks, and he might stay longer. We'll see. But he can only do that if his dog was here. So I had to drive Ranger from Denver to here, and I had to drive Ranger. I'll have to drive him back in January. That's part of that. I had to set expectations. If I want a great holiday month, Thanksgiving to New Year's, I had to set expectations of what did they mean, and I had to set out real criteria for myself. So I've done that, and I'm working them. If you have expectations of your job that aren't being met, you should write them down, and talk to your boss about them. Expectation management, though, should be done, if you can, at the beginning, before you make a change. If you're going to change, hey, hang on a second. Sorry, you hear my dogs play in the background here. In fact, here, let's take a look. This is what you're hearing in the background here. So there's a good example. If I'm going to keep 2 dogs and keep them around, I have to have the expectations they're going to make noise while I'm making a video, right? And I have to be good with that. So rather than get mad about it, I just show it to you. Expectations should be set up and agreed to at the beginning. And if you've already passed the beginning, then we need to work on expectations, particularly if things aren't happy. If your marriage isn't going the way you want it to, why? What are the expectations that you have for the relationship that aren't being met? What are the expectations that she has for the marriage that aren't being met? Let's sit down and talk about why are we grumpy? Why are we at each other? Why are we, why does the relationship seem to be deteriorating? Can we work on our expectations and do it together? Same with the job. If you're the hiring person or you're the one being hired, expectations and how they're going to be managed, how they're going to be measured, should be done ahead of time, right? Don't take a new job and then find out the expectations you had for it are all wrong, and how you're being measured is completely wrong in your opinion. That stuff should be decided up front. For income and wealth, you can't wish you were wealthy. You can't hope that you're going to make a lot of money. You've got to have a plan. You've got to know what bills you're going to kill and how much money you're going to save. You got to have an investment plan. What's the rate of return you expect? You need a plan to become wealthy. You know, what supplemental income are you going to do? What job? Are you going to take a second job? Are you going to take a third job? Are you going to ask for pay increases? Are you going to go back to school and become more valuable to the working world than you are today? You need to change jobs. You need to change industries. You need to change careers. Have a plan. You can't just wish for things to happen. It's just not going to happen. Most likely, if you're waiting for anything, life's going to hand you a layoff, something like that. So setting expectations with measurable criteria in any aspect of your life is the key to obtaining that level of satisfaction and accomplishment that you're looking for. So another one is your retirement. What are your expectations at retirement, whether it's a year from now, which would be a nightmare, or 10 years from now or 20 years from now? What is your expectation? You have a lifestyle expectation that you wish to have in retirement. Everybody does. I don't know what yours is, and it's none of my business. It's really it's no one's business except yours and your spouse's. But do you have a plan to attain that lifestyle? What are the criteria? What are the expectations you're carrying for your retirement? And what is your plan to obtain it, right? And how are those criteria measured? I want to be able to do this. What is it? I want to travel 6 months a year. I wish to have 2 homes and travel between them. I wish to sit in this house and do very little, and that's fine. I'm not belittling anybody's dreams or criteria. That's not my point. Do you know what a great retirement looks like? Do you know the income that would be required to support it? And do you know how that income is going to be generated? And if the answer is no to any of those, you don't have a retirement plan. You have a retirement wish and a retirement hope. So set your expectations for retirement. And what are the criteria? How are you going to measure it? And how are you doing against it? Boy, that is the recurring theme over and over and over again for expectations. Write them down. How are you going to measure them? What's your plan? And how are you doing against them? That is the key to living a fulfilled, successful life, because you get to define it. Nobody else does. And external influences are going to happen. Do you know what they are? It's risk management, right? What happens if you get sick? What happens if your spouse goes away? There's a number of ways that can happen. I don't know. Do you have a plan? Do you know what you expect? Do you have it written down? Do you really put thought into it? Do you know how you're going to get there? And that is the key there. Sasha wishes to get involved. Do you have an expectation I don't know about? She expects to go home pretty soon. Anyway, she's getting big, huh? Well, with the introduction of this expectation, I'll end this video. I don't know if it came even close to what you were hoping for. Please comment. Please ask questions. Tell me where I missed. Tell me what other questions this brings up. I just wanted to hit this one big because I can't say it forcefully enough. Laying out your expectations and knowing what they are is the key component to satisfaction in life. Talk to you later, guys.